Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization. Welcome back to the Targeting the Muscle series. Today we're doing the technically most important exercise anyone could ever do, the machine chest press. That's right, grandma did it, mom did it, great-grandma hated it, great-great-grandma invented it and died by it. In it, actually. Although it's very difficult to die in one of these, short of a cardiac event. What the hell am I saying? We have tips for how to take any machine chest press that's reasonably built, and this one sure as hell is, thanks Nautilus, and get the most out of it if you have trouble feeling your pecs. Let's get into the tips. All right, tip number one, and this is actually probably the first thing you would do, is to make sure that the seat height is appropriate for you. So check this out, I'll demo quick. Right now it's on elevated seat height for me, and I actually, surprisingly, even though I'm only 4'9", I have actually quite a long torso. I guess it's large too. I have a pretty long torso. So if I get into the machine like this, for me, you guys notice I'm like kind of pushing down, which is like all well and good, but I don't feel like I can generate a ton of power this way, and I don't feel like my pecs are working a ton as much as they could be. So for me, I prefer look at how easy Nautilus makes this, a lower seat height. So now that the seat is lower, oh man, I can get really settled in here and do some really good work. So for you, there's no correct answer as to what seat height is best. Play with a few of them and see which one you like most, which one you can feel your pecs working the best. Tons of tension, tons of pump, tons of burn, so on and so forth. All right, next tip, and this is unfortunately not possible with all machines, and the machine switch is not possible, you should throw away immediately or complain to your gym owner, is adjusting the range of motion of the handles. A lot of hypertrophy, based on research and theory, and a lot of practical experience from almost everyone who's reasonably intelligent, seems to occur deep in a stretch with heavy loads. And if you're in a machine and you haven't played with the adjustment, you could be in a situation where you're pressing like this. Now notice, the stack is clanking, and I'm not even at normal bench press depth yet. Machines can offer you greater than bench press depth, which is one of their options. So if you're in a situation where you can't feel your pecs, well, I can't feel my pecs either because I'm barely getting a stretch. Now, if I make the adjustment here and I lower the situation, we could have done a slightly better job with one of those pressing things, but I get into the super deep. Now watch this. Oh my God, this is as deep as I go. I'm not warmed up. All the way up, super deep stretch. It makes all the difference in the world. And a lot of times, if you're using a machine, or you've been using it for a while, you're like, I don't like this machine, you sort of haven't put your finger on exactly why, you might not have realized that there is a selectorized difference in how deep the machine goes. And if you adjust the selector to go nice and deep, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I wrote this machine off for no reason. This is actually incredible. I actually love using it. Give it some thought, give it a try. Next, notice we haven't even talked about actually doing the repetitions yet and just setup, is grip width. And again, here, there is not really a super correct answer. It's all to preference, it's all to feel, it's all to individual anthropometry. So we have an option of taking a very wide grip. And a lot of times that works well for people's pecs, especially if you retract your shoulder blades and push your chest out like you're supposed to be on every chest movement. This can feel amazing. It can really let you feel the chest, and your triceps don't have to be a super big limiting factor. Now, for some people, their shoulders feel so weird and it's such a big stretch for the pecs that they can't generate a lot of force. It ends up being not the correct answer. In addition to that, if you have the chest super wide, sometimes it actually limits the range of motion because your elbows can't go back that far. So for some folks, a closer grip can actually fry the living fuck out of their pecs because it allows them a huge range of motion with the exercise and the elbows to travel real far back. That humerus angle is super deep, and then it allows you a really good situation. And of course, there's somewhere in the middle between the two, and that's often where you should start and experiment from there. Again, there are no correct answers here, and anyone who tells you, oh, this grip is better because this PubMed study on fucking 12 undergraduates who never lifted before with an EMG that doesn't tell us anything said that wide grip's better, blah, blah. That's all good and well, and you could start at whatever the studies say, but absolutely adjust to your own preference. Two things we're looking for. One, where do we feel the muscle the best and the deepest stretch and the most pump and burn? And two, where are our shoulder joints and elbow joints more comfortable? Sometimes even wrists, because if you go out super wide, your wrists feel weird. Comfy joints, hit for the muscle, and we're fucking golden. Kind of a combo tip, slow eccentric and a pause at the bottom. So if you're having trouble feeling your pecs, this is absolutely a fine cadence for people who don't have trouble feeling their pecs. But if you have trouble feeling pecs, What you could do is take a real slow eccentric, 3 or 4 seconds, really try to feel your chest opening up. And then at the bottom, pause for like 2 seconds. 1 and 2 and up. Slow eccentric. Feel those pecs spreading. Chest up at the bottom. Pause. Oh, that even hurts. There's barely any weight for me. This is not a very heavy machine. It's not that I'm strong. And I can already feel my pecs with this tip. Slow eccentric, big pause, and then up. Yes, you will get fewer reps. Yes, you will be able to lift less weight, but you will potentially be able to stimulate your pecs that much more at a smaller expense to your joints. And if you have trouble feeling your pecs, I 100% advise that you give this a shot. Last tip, and this one works especially well, granted you're doing everything else correctly. So when you set up at the bench, make sure you can get a really deep stretch, make sure your shoulders are back, chest is up, everything's flat, everything's tight and solid. Where do your elbows go? Fundamentally, there are 2 extremes. One is your elbows stay in, both on the eccentric and the concentric, okay? Option 2 is you flare your elbows out, okay? There's a third option. The third way, oof, awkward historical reference, is elbows at roughly 45 degrees. Okay? I would start at 45, but I would play around with close and I would play around with wide as far as elbow position, or sorry, tight in and outstretched, to see which one you feel works best. And there's kind of a combinatorial part here where if you have a wider grip, a narrow elbow angle sometimes feels really fucking weird, but a big open angle feels great. If you have a narrower grip, sometimes the close angle feels great. If you have a medium grip, it really is whatever feels best. So again, anyone that tries to tell you there's a correct way to push your elbows could be statistically correct, 60-40. 60% of people that try the bench, a 45-degree elbow angle or whatever, could be optimal. But remember, you're not a statistic. Don't end up being a statistic. I'm like a 90s anti-drug commercial. I'm not the person to tell you that. So you are an individual. And that means that you have to figure out a way that works best for you. So if tons of people are like, yeah, 45 degrees is the best, and you feel amazing if you pull your elbows in, who the fuck is gonna tell you that's the wrong way? If your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrists feel great, and whatever elbow angle you play with feels best for hitting your pecs, you get a bigger pump, you get a bigger sensation of the muscle, having a ton of tension throughput, you get sore, et cetera, then that's the right answer. Folks, it comes down to this. Any machine can be used better or worse. And the machine design is of course important, but there are lots of great machines out there that you can use very poorly. But with the tips I'm giving you, especially here on the chest machine, and there's tons more videos like this to come on other machines, you can alter the machine, use the machine, position your body in such a way that gives you a much better stimulus for the target muscle than otherwise. If you have no problem targeting your pecs, you could just, I don't even know why you're watching this video, feel free to report us or some shit like that. Don't do that, please. But if you are having trouble targeting your pecs, try some of these tips, be patient with them, try them for a few weeks, really feel out your body. You may come to have several ways of using a chest machine that's working really great for you. You might only have one, but if we found one way that works best for you, well shit, you kind of owe us pec size. You show up to the club and girls are like, hey, what's up, what are you up to? And you're like, she's like, oh my God, pec Morse code. And then I was gonna do sexual things with my face, but that's not YouTube friendly. See you guys later. Comment, like, subscribe. And if you have exercises or machines you want us to talk about optimizing for the target muscle, please let us know in the comments. And also let us know what your favorite flavor of ice cream is. If it's Moose Tracks, don't comment because you're a fucking idiot. I'm totally kidding. See you guys next time.